Welcome back, mythical beasts. We're so glad to have you join us for another journey into the wonderfully weird. Today we're donning our imaginary berets, channeling our inner artists, and diving headfirst into the wild, weird, and often wonderfully confusing world of art. We're talking about art that challenges, provokes, and maybe even makes you scratch your head a little. But forget the usual landscapes and portraits, the still lifes and the historical scenes. This is about art that makes you squint, tilt your head, and ask with genuine bewilderment, wait, that's art? We're venturing far beyond the familiar and stepping into the truly avant-garde. We're exploring pieces that sparked outrage, ignited debates, confusion, and passionate debate. Art that pushed boundaries and challenged the very definition of what art can be. From everyday objects, seemingly mundane, turned into high art, elevated to a status they never anticipated, to massive projects that reshape entire landscapes, leaving a permanent mark on the world around us. So buckle up because we've curated a list, the top 10 most bizarre artworks ever conceived. Get comfy, settle in, and maybe grab a snack as odd and unexpected as this art itself. You might need something to chew on while you ponder these masterpieces. Because this is going to get strange. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged and your expectations defied. We're counting down the art that broke the mold, shattered conventions, and then stomped on it with gleeful abandon. If you love having your mind twisted, stretched, and generally messed with, stick around and hit subscribe. Your support helps us keep searching for the unknown, the unconventional, and the utterly unforgettable. Ready to dive in? Ready to question everything you thought you knew about art? Let's get weird, let's talk about that. Number 10. We begin our countdown with a truly unique and unforgettable piece. The Singing Sculpture by Gilbert and George. Imagine walking into a hushed art gallery in 1969, a time when the art world was already pushing boundaries. And there in the center of the room, you see two men, meticulously painted bronze from head to toe, standing rigidly on a table, almost motionless, like living statues. Suddenly breaking the silence, they start singing "Underneath the Arches," a popular song of the era, but this isn't a one-time performance. They keep singing, repeating it for hours on end, sometimes all day long, pushing the limits of endurance. Gilbert and George, as they are known, called themselves living sculptures, blurring the lines between life and art. They were actively blurring the line between artist and artwork, challenging the very definition of what art could be. This wasn't a cold, lifeless statue cast in bronze. It was flesh and blood, two human beings pushing themselves to the extreme. It was a performance that challenged the traditional notions of sculpture, forcing viewers to reconsider what art could be and how it could be experienced. Their sheer endurance and unwavering commitment to the performance were baffling to many, raising questions about the nature of art itself. But that was precisely the point. Art as a direct, visceral experience, not just a static object to be passively observed. By turning themselves into the artwork, they questioned fundamental concepts like originality, the traditional role of the artist, and the very nature of the viewer's experience. You weren't just passively looking at a piece of art, you were actively sharing the same physical space with it, becoming a part of the performance itself. It was a radical, undeniably strange, and profoundly influential performance that changed the landscape of performance art forever. Two men covered in bronze paint, a simple song repeated ad nauseum, and a room full of utterly confused onlookers. In the world of art, it really doesn't get much weirder or more thought-provoking than that. And that's precisely why The Singing Sculpture by Gilbert and George so rightfully kicks off our list of the most bizarre art performances. Now, let's move on to number 9 and see what other surprises await us. Number 9. The Umbrella Project by Christo and Jean-Claude. In 1991, these artists opened thousands of giant umbrellas, blue in Japan, yellow in California, simultaneously. Each umbrella was over 19 feet tall, transforming entire landscapes for 18 days. The project took years of planning and cost $26 million, all self-funded. The umbrellas highlighted the contrast between lush Japan and arid California, connecting two cultures through art. It was about pure beauty and joy, inviting people to step out and experience the world differently. Tragically, high winds caused fatal accidents, a reminder of nature's power. Despite this, the Umbrella Project remains a breathtaking, fleeting spectacle. Art on a global scale. It's land art that made the world stop and look. That's why it's on our list. Next up, number 8. Number 8. The Dinner Party by Judy Chicago. Picture a massive triangular table set for 39 historical and mythical women. No guests, just symbolic place settings. Each setting features embroidered runners and ceramic plates, many with designs celebrating female anatomy. The table sits atop the heritage floor, inscribed with the names of 999 more women. It's a bold tribute to women's achievements, elevating traditional crafts to high art. When it debuted in 1979, it drew crowds and controversy. Some called it scandalous, others found it empowering. The dinner party forced museums and viewers to reconsider what belongs in art history. It's a landmark of feminist art, unapologetic and unforgettable. A table that changed the conversation, that's why it's number 8. Let's move to number 7. Number 7. Stelarc's Human Body Project. Stelarc doesn't just use his body as a canvas, he transforms it. Most famously, he grew a third ear on his forearm, using biocompatible materials and his own tissue. He suspended himself from hooks, attached robotic limbs, and even let people control his muscles online. Stelarc's message: the human body is obsolete in a technological world. His art is a living experiment, pushing the boundaries of flesh and machine. It's disturbing, fascinating, and forces us to question what it means to be human. Where does the body end and technology begin? Stelarc's work is the ultimate strange self-portrait. On to number 6. Number 6. The Lightning Field by Walter de Maria. In the New Mexico desert, 400 stainless steel poles form a massive grid, almost invisible until lightning strikes. Visitors spend 24 hours in isolation, waiting for nature's unpredictable show. The poles attract lightning, turning the sky into a living canvas. But the real art is the anticipation, the silence, and the changing light. Sometimes, you see nothing but sunset. Sometimes, you witness raw power. The lightning field is about experience, not just spectacle. It's land art that uses time, weather, and landscape as its materials. A masterpiece of patience and possibility. That's why it's number 6. Next, number 5. Number 5. The Singing Ringing Tree. On a windy English hill, this metal sculpture looks like a twisted tree, but it's also a giant instrument. Made of stacked steel pipes, it turns wind into haunting, ever-changing music. The sound ranges from a low hum to a powerful, eerie chorus depending on the weather. It's a sculpture you hear as much as see, blending art, architecture, and nature. The experience is multisensory, wind, sound, and landscape all at once. It's an instrument no one plays, yet it's always performing. The Singing Ringing Tree is proof that art can have a voice of its own. Beautiful, strange, and unforgettable. On to number 4. Number 4. Balloon Dog by Jeff Koons. Imagine a giant, mirror-polished balloon animal, over 10 feet tall, weighing a ton. Koons took a party trick and turned it into high art, making 5 versions in different colors. The surface is so shiny, it reflects and distorts everything around it. In 2013, the orange balloon dog sold for $58.4 million, sparking fierce debate. Is it a clever critique of consumer culture, or just expensive kitsch? Some see it as a symbol of our times, playful yet absurdly valuable. Others call it shallow, art for billionaires. Either way, it forces us to ask, what gives art its value? Balloon Dog is both joyful and controversial. That's why it's number 4. Number 3, Damien Hirst's Shark in Formaldehyde. A 14-foot tiger shark, preserved in a glass tank, confronts viewers with the reality of death. It's both lifelike and undeniably dead, a paradox that unsettles everyone who sees it. Hirst wanted to make death immediate, not distant or sanitized. The original shark decomposed and was replaced, raising questions about authenticity. Is the idea more important than the object? This piece is the epitome of conceptual art, strange, macabre, and unforgettable. It challenges us to face mortality head-on. For its audacity and impact, the shark floats into our top 3. Next, number 2. Number 2, My Bed by Tracy Emin. Emin took her actual unmade bed, stains, mess and all, and put it in a gallery. Surrounding it, empty bottles, cigarettes, dirty laundry, and more. It's a raw self-portrait, showing vulnerability and pain without filter. The piece shocked the public and divided critics. Was it art or just a mess? Emin's honesty broke down barriers between art and life, turning private despair into public conversation. My Bed argues that art can be found in life's messiest moments. It's confessional, uncomfortable, and deeply human. For its brutal honesty and controversy, it's our runner-up. Ready for number 1? Here it is. Number 1. Fountain by Marcel Duchamp. A piece that continues to challenge and inspire, even over a century later. In 1917, Duchamp bought a urinal, an ordinary, mass-produced object. He rotated it, signed it with the pseudonym R. Mutt, a playful nod to plumbing and commerce, and then submitted it to an art show. The organizers, members of the Society of Independent Artists, were horrified and hid it from public view, sparking immediate controversy. But Duchamp's point was made loud and clear. He had ignited a debate that continues to rage today. He wasn't asking if it was a good sculpture in the traditional sense. He was fundamentally challenging the very definition of art, asking, what is art? What are its boundaries? Who decides? By placing an ordinary manufactured object in the context of a gallery, he declared that art is about ideas, about the artist's selection and intention, not just technical skill or aesthetic beauty. This ready-made concept, the idea of elevating everyday objects to art status, changed everything, paving the way for conceptual art and challenging traditional notions of artistic creation. Fountain gave artists permission, a license to break free from convention, to use any object, any idea, no matter how mundane or shocking, as a medium for art. It's the ultimate act of rebellion against established artistic norms. A simple gesture, a flipped urinal that redefined creativity and the artist's role. The original was lost to time, but its profound impact on art history and contemporary practice is everywhere, in galleries and museums around the globe. Fountain is perhaps the strangest and arguably the most important artwork of all time, sparking endless debate and inspiring generations of artists. It shattered the established rules of art and paved the way for entirely new movements and artistic expressions. That's why, for its sheer audacity and lasting influence, it's number one. Let's wrap up this exploration of a truly revolutionary artwork. That's our countdown of the top 10 strangest artworks ever made. From singing sculptures to urinals, these pieces prove art is about challenging us, not just pleasing us. If you enjoyed this trip through the bazaar, hit like and subscribe for more. We love hearing your thoughts. What's the strangest art you've seen? Drop it in the comments. Thanks for joining us, Mythical Beasts. Stay curious and keep looking at the world a little differently. Until next time, keep questioning what art can be. See you in the next adventure.